In Consumer Watch, online shopping could be getting more expensive. The Supreme Court ruled yesterday that states can force online retailers to charge their customers sales tax even if the company doesn't have a physical presence in the state.
The court estimates online sellers cost states between $8 and $33 billion. That's quite a range by not collecting sales tax. President Trump weighed in on Twitter last night. He called the decision a big victory for fairness and a great victory for consumers and retailers.
Nick Thompson is a CBS News contributor and editor-in-chief of Wired, and he joins us now. What's up?
How you doing, Vlad?
So I don't think that it's a big win for me. I do a lot of online shopping.
I know. Now we have to pay more.
Now I got to pay more. Why is the president saying I'm going to be a winner in this?
I agree with 3/4 of Trump's tweet. I think it is a big victory for fairness. I think it is a good thing overall. I think it's smart. It's good for the states. The only way you will win is that states will collect more revenue and you will have better roads and services. But nothing you buy will be cheaper.
Win. That's a win.
But it is weird to use the word consumers because that seems to imply it's a win for people buying stuff. Nothing gets cheaper. There's nothing that gets cheaper because of this change.
So then, speaking of that, how quickly will we see a difference, and what sort of difference will we see?
So if you live in South Dakota, you will see a difference pretty quickly, right? Because what it's saying is that a state can pass a law collecting sales tax from remote retailers, but the state has to pass the law. So it's going to take a little while for this to go into effect. But in general, what you will see over the next couple years is you will see the amount that you pay for online products go up, and it will be closer to what you pay for stuff in brick and mortar stores.
There used to be an advantage to shopping online. Is that advantage completely been wiped away now?
There used to be a small price advantage.
Yes.
There are other price advantages. I mean, they don't have to have physical stores. They don't need to have as many employees. They don't need to have as much stuff in storage, so stuff could still be cheaper.
But that was always the argument, right? That was always the argument that if you're buying online, the fact that they don't have a brick and mortar location means that they can actually absorb some of the costs that would normally have to go into.
Yeah, and that's so like there are a lot of things that help give online sellers a price advantage. One of those things is now going away. But the other thing that's interesting about this is that online retailers don't, for the most part, get customers now on price advantage. That was probably true 10 years ago. Now it's all on convenience, right? And it's because of the data, and they know exactly what you want, and they can ship it to you really quickly. So they have a big convenience advantage. So this is, for brick and mortar, this is a small thing coming pretty late in the game, right?
That's really fascinating.
So I know it's all about state-level sales tax, but could Congress have intervened, or is there a role for the federal government? I mean, because we're talking about retailers that sell
the Supreme Court is doing this. It's totally insane, the Supreme Court. Like, Congress should have passed a law to deal with this at some point in the last 25 years. Congress was unable to do that. So the Supreme Court had to weigh in. In fact, in the Supreme Court, the question was really, do we have jurisdiction over this? Like, can states, does it violate the Interstate Commerce Clause for a state to tax an online retailer that doesn't have a presence in the state?
Right.
And shouldn't Congress have dealt with this? And 5 justices said, well, this is so unfair and so ridiculous that we're going to change it. 4 of them said, hey, leave well enough alone. In fact, what's so interesting about the Supreme Court ruling, so it's Alito, Thomas, Gorsuch, Kennedy, and Ginsburg?
All on one side?
5? Yeah, on one side. You ever had that alignment?
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
that's really interesting.